welcome back to my channel. So we're working on the Circle of Life page, the big body colour, group body colour. Now I've only sat down and worked on this once. I will leave that link to that video somewhere around here or in the description, but I did use distress ink on the background and the Karen markers and some Renaissance watercolours. Now today I want to use the Inktense and I want to get the majority of the turtle done, if not all of it. Definitely all of the outside, not necessarily the bits on the inside. So I have just pulled the pencils out, just got my little swatches to get an idea of what I want. I do want it green, so we're going to start off with the teal green, I think. Yeah, we'll start off with the teal green, and then we've got green aquamarine and dark aquamarine that I might dabble into. I need to leave that out. So where are they? So there's the dark aquamarine. Teal green, did I say? No, I didn't say. Yes, I did. That was my lightest one. So teal green was the lightest, dark aquamarine was the darkest, and then green aquamarine. It isn't a tongue twister, some of these names. So pencil sharpener. I've not sharpened them because I didn't know which colours I wanted. Actually, that point should be okay. So let's give these two a little bit of a sharpen. I want this page to be totally mixed media, so I might end up even going over the top with pencil in certain areas, like definitely where I put these Karen markers. So watercolour brushes, I've got the Kuretake, the Zig one, and where's my Caran d'Ache ones? This one's a really interesting one. The nib on it is hard, it's like a sponge. I might try and use that today. I've only tried to use it I think once or twice, so I might try that. And then I've even got a little makeup brush in here because I was using this for acrylic paint. And then the Caran d'Ache one, that's a bigger one. So we'll stick with them three sizes. We'll get the tiny one as well, just in case. That one. So I do keep all my nicer separate watercolour brushes in there, just so I don't accidentally put acrylic paint on them, because it will destroy them. Now, I'm not using a reference picture for this. I'm just, excuse me, I've just had a big drink of pop. I'm not using a reference. I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't necessarily want to sit here and colour reference. I'm not in the mood for that. I was doing that with a different picture last night, so I want this to be in my colours, what I'm choosing. Now I don't know whether to do the shading with my Inktense pencils first or do it in layers. I'm not sure. You might hear the dogs snoring. I've just took them out for a long walk this morning. They weren't too happy because it was raining, but they needed to go out. So I think we'll just do that little portion first. I'm always nervous about zooming in too much and making it blurry or going out of frame. So we'll just wing it and see how we get on, I think. So this is the green aquamarine. Yep, she's already started snoring. If I be quiet for a second, you might be able to hear it. So I'm glad that I'm sitting down and doing this now. I'm seeing all of these beautiful finished pages and whips as well on Instagram, and I'm thinking, oh, I can't sit down and join everyone really, because I want to film most of it on camera. So, but hopefully we'll get it finished today or tomorrow. And I'll pop it up on Instagram. Again, the hashtag is colourmeturtlefree on Instagram if you do want to join in. or if you've not got Instagram, just send me an email with your finished picture. I don't know if I will be able to. I've seen some videos of everyone putting all the pictures together. Now, whether I can work out how to do that is a different thing. This is dark aquamarine. Yes, I've never done that before. So I'll have a look into it. See if I can work it out. So I'm just going to work in sections. I think that would be the best thing. You can hear how crinkly the paper is already from the distress ink. It's going to get even more crinkly when I activate this. I've just realised I put my phone on silent because it'll be just my luck. So let's activate this. Which one shall I use? I'll use the medium one. The medium. Is it the Kuritaka? I've got that name in my head for some reason. So I've just got my cloth. We'll start at the top. Start at the lightest point. Just like that. I've got a lot of water on this brush here, which I'm not too pleased about, but I'll make it work. Just try and keep it the lightest in the middle. Just like that. And then same thing. Just try and keep the middle bit as light as possible, but you want to blend the edges because you don't want a really a dark line there. So I'm constantly dabbing on my cloth as well to get rid of any excess ink that I don't want. It's going to fit in with the background colour beautifully, I think. So let's do, I think we'll move on to his little flipper. Shall I do them all individual? I'm just thinking out loud because if I do the whole portion I think it'll look a bit silly, so I'm going to have to probably do it in sections. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Was this my lightest colour? No, Debbie, dark aquamarine. It was teal green, wasn't it? I usually keep them in order at the side of me, so don't get mixed up. Might be able to do a big chunk of this. I just wouldn't work over that, for instance, this bit now because it is still wet. You will damage the paper. So working in sections, you can let the other parts dry that you've already worked on. I always get a little nervous with Inktense with it being ink, it's permanent. You're not going to be able to move that around once it's completely dry. I was having issues though that if I'd done this area and I wanted to go over something else with watercolour and water got in the area, it would bleed a bit, and I couldn't understand why it was doing it, but I wasn't blending out the pigment enough, so there was leftover ink there, so when I dropped the water on it, that's what activated it. So make sure I activate all the colour this time. Just bring it down the sides. And then the darkest one was that dark aquamarine that I already popped there. Let's activate that now. I can always come back once it's fully dry and add a little bit more pigment. So I'll move you over ever so slightly. And I'll use the same brush. Just make sure that I've not got as much water on this time. And see how we go. Let's start off. Oh, no, 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 no. Right, switching brushes to the smaller one. That's better. So you're activating your lightest colour and then going into the darker one and then pulling it together just to get that blended effect. These little ones, I'm not going to be too fussy about them. It's these bigger ones that will stand out more. If you think I've used these colours together before, they're really, really pretty. So this section, do all together. I found it really relaxing doing this actually. See the effect that I'm going for. So you're going from dark to light, same as here, dark to light. So while that's drying, we'll do this portion here. And I'll probably have to stick with the same brush. So it was the teal green first. We'll stop it just there and then leave a gap between. I don't want to accidentally touch that while it's still drying. I haven't looked, let me just check. I've got no bleed through yet. I've not had the best of luck with this paper. I really haven't. So we'll do this one as well. Then leave the rest, leave that little area in between. Let's darken these up. Then with these lines, I think I'll do the same as what I did here. Just leave it quite light in the middle. Again, I'm not being too fussy with them really tiny ones. I'm not about that. And then onto the darkest one, which was the dark aquamarine. just randomly picking them out. So like I said, I'm not sitting here doing every single individual dot. So I'll wet my brush again, and I've picked up the wrong one. It's too big. So my smallest one. So you're going from light to dark. I'm not too worried about this now. This should be dry. See, I'm just glazing over these smaller ones, not being too fussy. I'm wondering whether to use watercolour for that, but it's not a big enough area, I don't think, for me justifying getting them out for that one little bit of sky. I don't know, maybe. Right, so that's that little portion done. I'll bring you out just so you can get a better idea. Need my fan brush at the minute, but I think them colours will go beautifully with the background. They really do pop, these Inktense. I love them. I absolutely love them. If you haven't tried Inktense, even if you just get 1 or 2 pencils open stock, just to give them a go and see what you think. So the head, so we'll do the head and the neck next, and I'm thinking that we'll keep it light around the edges and then go into the darkest point at the middle. That's what I'm thinking. So we want you in the middle. So the neck will do the same as this. So we want the lightest point in the middle. Which was the teal green, wasn't it? It was teal green. And then we might as well do the head at the same time, I think. The eyes I'm going to leave for now because I'm undecided. I might even just do them black. But like not a solid black. Or maybe I'll do it now. So that's that done. And then we move on to the green aquamarine. Do the very centre and pull it out ever so slightly. I'm using quite a firm pressure here as well. Not being too fancy, just get that colour down. And leave the centre the brightest and the darkest one the aquamarine, just on the edges of the neck, and then the very centre of the head. I don't know what these are meant to be actually. Are they meant to be bubbles? And we'll switch brushes. We'll go back to the very first one that I was using. Just cleaned it off there. So edges, we'll do a few at a time. Edges first, wipe off, and then go into the centre. Just like this. Leave that a minute and then we'll come back. Get activating some more. And then go over the top again. You see there's still pigment there to be activated. This is what I was talking about earlier on, that this is what I wasn't doing, going over again on certain areas. Because I used a heavier hand, there is more ink down there. So if I hadn't have done that second layer, like going over it over the top, and if I went over with any sort of water, it's going to run. The very centre ones again. And the centre of here. Pull that colour down, just like that. And I hope that gives you a good idea of how I use ink tints. Sometimes I'd go in with my first layer, let it dry, then my second layer, let it dry, and then my third. It just depends. It depends what mood I'm in, and depends on the picture, I suppose. So I'll probably finish this bit and then half of the shell, and then finish the rest of it off camera, and then the next part will be all the fish and the details, because I don't want this video to be too long. So we need to use the lightest shade, which was the teal green again. We should be able to do all of this that's left over. Oh, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Oh. And then the green aquamarine. Yeah, not being too fussy on the little ones. They're not going to stand out as much as the big ones will. And then the dark aquamarine. I'm going to stick to the smaller one again. My cloth. I did actually pop these in the washing machine over the weekend, both of my cloths that I use, and they're just terribly stained, which I'm not surprised with all the ink and stuff that I use, but they are clean. Whoa, I've got a super duper hungry belly as well. I started my diet last week and it's not been fun, so I need to get used to them rumbles. So that's that portion. Let's move you up. Let's go for a little ride. Now, where are you on my camera? I should be alright, just about. I think my idea, I'm going to use some more watercolour paints, the glittery ones and the metallic. And I do ideally want to use some stickles as well on this page. Very bottom one. I think the flippers as well, the bottom flippers, are they called different if they're at the bottom? I don't think they are they? It'll just be the same process as the top ones. And let's go in with the darkest shade, which was the dark aquamarine. Using a heavier pressure knife. And then we will switch to the bigger brush this time. So I will show you them side by side. I don't think I did that, but you can see the difference there. So that one's really good for finer detail, whereas this one is good for bigger areas. Pull the colour down. Are you tired from your art, girls? Like a 20 minutes, 25 minutes walk to these dogs is miles and miles with those, how small they are. So yeah, they'll probably be sitting in the bed now for the rest of the day. I plan on taking them out though as well after my dinner. When I have some dinner, I've made homemade soup, homemade roasted pepper and tomato soup, and then once I've had that, I'll take them back out. They'll be wondering what's going on with all this exercise and everything. Mum's on a diet. I need exercise. So same thing as before. Just leaving it a little bit lighter in the middle. And that's that. So I've done half of the turtle on camera. I just don't want to bore you, because it's going to be the same thing, exactly the same thing on the other side. But when I do anything different, I will come back and film it. So if you do want to join in, again, the hashtag, I'll put it somewhere on screen. It's hashtag colourmeturtlefree, and it'll be over on Instagram. And like I said, I've seen loads of whips and loads of finished pages, so everyone's beating me to it. And thank you for everyone that's joining in. I think it's going to be a really good success, this, and I've not done a hashtag like this, or a big group buddy colour, so it is exciting. So part 3 will probably be up in a day or two, and then we'll get on to the fun stuff, like all the metallic stuff. But I'll just lift this up, and you see there how beautiful that is, and it's completely dry. Really, really nice. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.